Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith's criticism of Sheryl Swoopes, her response, and Elle Duncan's excuse for Sheryl Swoopes. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do. So, as we know, Sheryl Swoopes is a hater of Caitlin Clark. And her latest episode, I guess, on her WNBA broadcast, I want to emphasize that. She's getting paid to do this by the WNBA. She said that the Indiana Fever is playing great. And then she went and talked about three players, and none of them were Caitlin Clark. So Stephen A. Smith got on his show and said, "Do you realize, Sheryl Swoopes, that you are insane to do that?" Which I think 100% of the world would agree with that, except for the ultimate big haters of Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. And she didn't take it sitting down, Rob. This is what she said.
All right.
You talk about whomever and whatever you want on your broadcast, correct? So why can't I? Also, did you listen to the entire episode? Nope. I have a personal relationship with these players, and they deserve recognition as well. All right. Let's stop right there.
Let's just stop right
she's
there.
Getting paid by the WNBA. So that means since she is and she's representing the WNBA, she has an obligation as a broadcaster to be objective. So that is incorrect. Mm-hmm. That she can talk about however she wants to, but that's not being objective, and that's not doing a good job, and that's unfair to the WNBA, and it's unfair to everybody else.
Unfair to the players. She says she knows the players. She's spreading hate bringing her hate to and getting paid for it. I never heard about that. You hate something and you get paid for it. I want that job.
Well, the personal relationship is BS because she probably has a personal relationship with a lot of players in the league. And the fact that she has a really close personal relationship with these three specific players, I find hard to believe.
Right.
And the only reason she doesn't have a personal relationship with Caitlin Clark is because she hates on her all the time. That's why.
And it's so obvious. But like your point, Mark, is true. She's getting paid to hate, and she could spew it up when she gets her own little private podcast. She can do that. But when she's getting paid, she's got to be objective. She can't, just say anything that she wants.
And even if she was on her own broadcast, Rob, don't you want to be taken seriously? Don't you want people to actually listen to you because they respect your opinion? Who's going to respect your opinion when you say the kind of things that she says about Caitlin Clark and then leaves her out completely about the team playing well? Really, it's a useless broadcast if there's no objectivity and if you don't have an intelligent take on the WNBA, which she's capable of because we all know she knows basketball.
Yeah, but she's letting her, I'll say it, racism and hate come into play, which she should not.
Right. Well, this is obviously tribalism and racism on her part because Caitlin Clark's given her no reason.
Yeah.
And then Angel Reese has given her no reason to like her, and she likes her anyways.
Right.
Anyways, she went on. Do you talk about them or others in the league and give them props? You're new to this. I'm true to this. Not sure what he thought he was doing. I'm ready to go on his show, coward. Now, Stephen A. Smith wasn't a coward for saying it on his show. He'd be a coward if he said it behind closed doors. He came right out and said it. That's not being a coward.
Right.
He didn't say, "Hey, can I come on your show?" But I'm sure he's willing to.
Yeah, he said it straight because if she wasn't a show, he would tear her apart. It would just grab all the quotes. It's like, wait, you mentioned all the players on the Fever and you didn't mention Caitlin Clark. Why was that?
Right.
That's the first question I would ask.
And he may be new to follow the WNBA closely. I doubt he followed it closely before this year because it wasn't popular enough. But he's not new to commenting. He's not new to basketball. He knows basketball. And he's not new to commenting on this. He's not new to commenting in general because he's been doing it for 15, 20 years. He's been a sports writer before that. So I don't know what she's talking about there. He's new to this. She knows the WNBA, but she's also new to being a big hater.
No, she's not new to that. She's always been a hater.
Yeah.
Now she's found a person that she can focus on even more for no reason. Hating someone for no reason right there is insane. That's really insane.
And having a personal relationship is not an excuse for talking about that player as opposed to someone else. You should talk about them despite having a personal relationship with them. And you should be objective despite having a personal relationship with them. She should try to talk about everybody the same based upon their abilities and their importance to their team and to the league. And that's just the way it should be if you want to be objective. I'm sorry, that is part of your job as a broadcaster. We don't have to be objective in this channel, although I think we do a good job of it because we're not getting paid by ESPN. We're independent. But she is, and she should be objective just so you have credibility in terms of people valuing your opinion and listening to you and don't think you're an idiot.
Just spouting out some insane thing about a player and it's not even true. That makes you look stupid. So don't do it.
Before, when she criticized Caitlin Clark, Elle Duncan said, looks like she's coming from a place of hate there. And I guess there was a dispute about whether or not she said Samuelson was more important to the team or not more important to the team. She actually didn't say that. She just pointed out Samuelson in terms of what she contributes to the team, but didn't point out Caitlin Clark. And some people interpret it that way. So she apologized because she never listened to the broadcast. It was interpreted. But the rest of what she said was true because other things that Sheryl Swoopes has said in that broadcast were wrong. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she apologized, and then she apologized a second time, and now she seems to be apologizing a third time. Basically what she said, first she had some kind of weird Harry Potter analogy, and I didn't understand it, even though I've seen the Harry Potter movies. Here's the excuse that she made up for Sheryl Swoopes in terms of what she just did in the last broadcast where she left out Caitlin Clark. She said because Caitlin Clark is so polarizing and the virtual that follows is so great that it's difficult to talk about her. Okay. She said, then she went on, this is exactly what she said. I paraphrased everything she just said before that. Mm-hmm. She said that there is a function of the population that you're being mandated to say it, that you're trying to be safe, that you're trying to appeal to her, that you're trying to appeal to her fan base. If you say anything good about her. Really? Like who's jumping on your case for saying something positive about Caitlin Clark? The only reason they're jumping on her case is because she never says anything positive about Caitlin Clark.
Right. That's the whole point. And that's why she looks foolish. Her saying that makes her look foolish. She could say that Stephen A. Smith is new, but she knew. And I played in the league. I've been around. You don't know what you're talking about. Doesn't mean that you're an expert on anything because your takes are really horrible.
I mean, let's break this down. She's not difficult to talk about if you're objective. She's only difficult to talk about if you're not objective or if you're a hater or you're an overly, a big, like what call a fanboy or what Rob calls a Clarksy, where everything Caitlin Clark does is good and you can't handle any criticism. That's the only time there's any danger of you speaking up about Caitlin Clark is if you're not objective. So just be objective and it's easy. And then she said that there is a function of the population. First of all, function, I think she meant a fraction or a percentage of the population. That's an improper use of the word function.
Yeah, it's probably fraction. Yeah, fraction probably.
Be that as may, she's trying to use a fancy word and then she used it wrong. I don't know that you're mandated to say it. Who's mandating? Please tell me who's mandating you to say positive things about Caitlin Clark. Nobody is. Trying to be safe? What's safe? Just say what's real. What's the truth? Trying to appeal to her? Caitlin Clark doesn't give a crap what you think about her. Again, that's wrong. That you're trying to appeal to her fans? She's not trying to appeal to her fan base, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah. It's so strange. Yeah. I mean, he's spot on. And like I talked about before with her, she was a great ball player. I watched her before in college and then in the pros. And just to see her almost like deteriorate, or I didn't know that she was actually like this, is kind of shocking and sad.
Yeah, well, we don't know when she became this delusional. Yeah. I didn't really pay attention to what she was saying before. I just kind of watched her play basketball. Obviously, she's coming from a place of hate, and it's pretty sad. Then she also said, if you say anything critical, you're a hater. Not true. Mm-hmm. Only if what you say is critical is not true, you become a hater. Or you basically say something that's not true merely because you don't like her. That's a hater.
Right.
Way underrating somebody, that's a hater. There's no danger of that as long as you evaluate her properly and objectively.
If you say she's a bad passer, that's not right. But if you say her defense is not that good, you are correct. And that's what everybody else says. You're correct. Right. You're stating something. And that's not a hate thing. You're stating something that's obvious.
Right. Then she went on to say, I couldn't believe she had to go past that.
I know.
We should give a little bit of space and grace for the fact that it can be difficult to figure out how to address this topic when there's so much nastiness involved in it. Again, there's only nastiness when you come and place a hate and totally underrate Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and you and others sit there and spew your hate, and that hate comes from fear of this white player coming into the league, into your leagues, like you own it, your league. You're putting money into this league, right? You own the league. It's not your league. Excuse me. You played in it, but it's not yours. So you spewing this hate for no reason over a player who's getting, accolades, well deserved, and then you're jealous, so you're jealous of her, and you're afraid of her, and you're just straight out racist and hate her.
I don't know what Elle Duncan's motivation is, or whether someone said something to her ESPN. I don't even know, or whether she just feel like she has to stick up for her sister or whatever. Tribalism. I have no idea, but her take is bizarre and almost as bad as Sheryl Swoopes, because she's making excuses for her when she doesn't deserve any excuse. She's doing something wrong, and you need to call her out for it. So stop it. Stop making excuses for it. This is terrible.
Paid for it. Mark, the bottom line, she's getting paid for it. Paid to hate. That's crazy.
This makes Elle Duncan look awful. Just it makes her look like a dingbat to me. Sorry, and I don't like to call people names, but that's what she looks like.
Yeah, scared, like a scared little, what are you scared of? Don't be scared.
Right. I mean, God forbid if she ever criticizes Sheryl Swoopes again. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Stephen A. Smith works for ESPN. He called her insane. Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid to say a little thing like, "Oh, it looks like it comes from a place of hate," and it wasn't quite accurate? It's not accurate.
Right.
So call her out for it. That's your job to be objective as a commentator, and you're not being objective now by not calling out Sheryl Swoopes.
And cowering to her. You're afraid of her. You're cowering to her like she's going to come to your house and sit and do something to you.
I can't stand it, Rob. I can't stand people not being objective when they're talking about sports, because it makes the comment that you're saying totally useless. It's the whole point of having a conversation and talk about sports, and the fun of it is try to figure out, what's right. What's the correct evaluation of a person or a team's ability? Well, you can't do that if you're not being objective. So there's no sense in having the conversation then.
I mean,
right?
that's just like
people.
Yeah, it's like with the Cowboy fans every year. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. Okay,
well, it's been a while.
It's been a while. You've been saying that for how many years?
Yeah, well, they get overrated because they have a lot of fans.
Mm.
So that's what happens. That's not a good reason, because you're a fan.
Right.
That's why I try not to overrate the Green Bay Packers. And if I do, then call me out on it. Let us know what you think about what Stephen A. Smith said, what Sheryl Swoopes has said, and what Elle Duncan has said. I'm curious as to your opinion on all three of those things. It's an interesting topic. It's a pretty sad topic that we even have to discuss things like this. But anyways, I'm curious to hear what you have to say. And I'm also curious whether or not you're going to show up for the game tonight and follow the Indiana Fever against the Atlanta Dreams at 7:30 tonight on NBA TV. Our normal live show is going to go from 6 to 7:30. We'll switch over. So please join us for that. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, what are you waiting for? You get to make fun of Sheryl Swoopes on our channel, which isn't hard to do. Let's be honest about that.
Pretty easy.
4,000 subscribers, right? Right. 4. Don't get Rob upset. He wants 4,000. We need it.
Come on.
And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below. And there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you on the next video.
Peace out.